Now, again, I don't want to jump and make this like a super political video because, again, I'm not equipped to even discuss this kind of stuff, but I am.
You're 30 minutes in. What are you doing? You can't say that 30 minutes into a video. You aren't. You aren't equipped to have this conversation. That's insane, dude. You can't take a dick out of your mouth for a half hour and then say, I'm not trying to be gay here. I wanted to see if he's talked about Palestine at all. This Israeli company is spying on everyone. Twitch is a disgustingly evil platform. 1 million views. 38-minute video. 1 million views. To be fair, Asmongold's being banned might have been a blessing considering bro finally cleaned his house, which is finally what happens when Discord mods run a multi-million-dollar app. I usually avoid these issues and don't take sides because I'm not knowledgeable on the topic, only to immediately proceed labeling people knowledgeable on the subject and speaking out against genocide, polarized extremists. Wait, is his audience dunking on him for this? This isn't about Hasan. Problem is Hasan is the farthest thing from knowledgeable on the subject. There is a reason why he won't debate Destiny. He'll eat him alive. That's so awesome. Mutahar trying to both sides an active genocide will never not be funny to me. Dude, just shut the fuck up. Making fun of veterans that just unjustly invaded nations at the behest of an empire is incomparable to an idiotic slop content creator. Asmongold's the worst kind of slop as he barely makes any creative content of his own. Making an incentive sweeping generalization about victims of genocide. It literally said the Palestinians came from an inferior culture. No dog whistle, no insinuations. I like how he's talking about the U.S. military like he isn't Canadian. Your ramble at the end was really based. I agree. All this hateful content really slowly affects you and just makes you more callous and disappointed in the world. On streams, I've maintained this is a conflict that shouldn't exist. With the death toll rising and innocents displaced, I would hope this conflict ends at some point before the end of my life. This is how most people treat this complex situation. We don't like seeing dead children. If you asked me on the stream, you'd hear these exact words relayed back at you. If you want to see change, write to your MP and ask them to discuss this on your behalf. 2/25/2024. The complexity and the nuance of daily baby murder. It's too complex. It's too nuanced. Genocide is too complex and nuanced to have an opinion on. You know what was not too complex and nuanced to have an opinion on, though? Talking and besmirching people who actually do talk about the genocide and saying that Twitch is inconsistent and bad and using Islamophobic pieces of shit like Destiny and Dan Saltman's website to do such a thing. These are the same people, by the way, who fucking despise, okay? Remember, these are the same people who despise these like mass brigading campaigns. These are the same people who love free speech. These are the same people who hate when people engage in this SJW style conquest to get people deplatformed. Using a fucking Willie Mac video as a source to say Hasan is out of his depth is also pretty funny, or not knowledgeable on issues is also pretty funny. Especially considering that the person who you're using as a source to compile these fucking videos literally does not know a single goddamn thing about Israel, Palestine, Gaza, or any number of different issues. It's drama slop compounded on top of drama slop. He says at the end of the video he's done with drama content. This is not drama content. This is actively signaling to deplatform a content creator who you're too cowardly to fucking have a genuine opinion on in terms of like the issues that he speaks of. Okay? You don't want to say anything about Gaza. You're too scared. Okay? And I understand that. I'll be very charitable to brown content creators who get harassed endlessly, especially if they're Muslim too. Because I understand the space is inherently hostile. I watched it. Muda said Anne Frank is incomparable to the Houthi kid because Anne Frank died. That's an insane thing. They're both teenagers who experienced a genocide. You have an issue with that if you either A, don't believe that the famine that Yemen was placed under is real, that they were just not experiencing that at all, or you just think that like brown people can't experience genocide. Now, it's additionally weird when it's a Muslim brown guy who feels that way. It just like shocks me to my core. He's Indian, so yeah, okay. What, you think Indians don't get fucking an endless amount of smoke from racists online? What are we talking about? They're like the #1 primary target of white supremacists, especially online. That's the reason why he had to fucking bail on his. That's the reason why he had to bail on his fucking Twitter account. He's Indian and Muslim. He's getting double fucked. This, I think, is really fucking cowardly though. Because, like, say it with your chest. Say that you actually like what Israel is doing then. Or say it's defensible. You know, if that's truly what you believe, you could be that guy. Be that guy. Or say what Israel is doing is indefensible. Don't do this. This is lame as fuck. Hitting it from this silly ass, like, I'm a centrist. Both sides are saying crazy stuff, and everybody needs to be fucking banned or whatever is ridiculous. It's my least favorite characteristic of a lot of these like drama orbiters. They don't have any sort of like real political convictions. It's very, very, very annoying.
Badmouth the people that take a bullet for your freedoms every single day. The most...
Dude, this is slop, and it works so well. American soldiers are dying so that you can have free speech. Brr, brr, brr. How dare you badmouth the American veterans, I say, as a Canadian.
Downright, just hateful rhetoric. Now, obviously, the people who are in the military were like, whoa, we're getting that Camaro. I have never in a million years met somebody, and I've met plenty of friends, friends who are actually active military, people that are retired military at this point. They've done their careers. People that have played video games who've told me about their stories. Never once have I ever heard people jump into the Army for that free, juicy Camaro. Ooh.
Wait, dog, you're Canadian. Why are you talking about this? Wait, is he fucking saying that like Americans are not victim to the poverty draft and the predatory nature that recruiters operate in? And it's actually because they have this profound sense of duty to what? Secure a poppy field in Afghanistan so that the CIA can continue having black budget operation funds? Is that, you don't understand, brother. When I went down there to the Korengal Valley, okay, and an IED exploded under my Humvee, and because we didn't have armor under the bottom of it for IEDs in the first round of conflict, I knew that I lost my legs specifically so that Americans could fucking have free speech. Like, what do you mean? None of those motherfuckers know what America is or what free speech is. Like, God, YouTubers and their understanding of the world is so infantile. It's like a child that watched a Hollywood movie and think like, no, that's what it is. It's not, because American career prospects are dire and plenty of people are trying to escape horrifying conditions, whether it be homelessness, whether it be drug use and abuse at home, and that the military is seen as the only way they can get some sort of upward social mobility. And this is, of course, outside of the people that go through the officers program or come from long-standing family, military families, because there's like 3 different brackets in the American military across the board in the most reductive ways possible I could describe it. And as people that are victim to the poverty draft, people that want to become fucking Pete Buttigieg and go through the officers program, and inevitably go into office, and also people that come from military families, okay? Like career professional military families. The large chunk of the base of the grunts that get their dicks blown off by a fucking sniper rifle while they are, protecting a poppy field or, I don't know, bullying some pedophile warlords or some shit, those guys are actually a part of the grunt branch that is escaping poverty, or at least they think they're escaping poverty because the fucking recruiters are lying to them. That is the Camaro wing of the American military. Those guys think falsely that if they go through basic training and then they get out of basic training and they put their time in the military and they go out and tour, okay, maybe they'll be able to come back and not have their brain fucking fried and go get a communications degree and enter the shitty ass job market that we all have entered at the same fucking time. I know these people. I love these people. Many of them are in my community, okay? I've grown up with these people. It seems like Mutahar has not, and he's just making up a false reality that he saw on TV. Oh my God. There are plenty of them who are fucking active duty right now that are still in this community. They know it sucks dick. They know it's shit. They know it's an awful fucking job. They also think they have no other options, and maybe this is what will pay for college. And then also they'll get health care. Little do they know, you either get health care, you get 100% coverage if you're the luckiest person ever, or if you're the unluckiest person ever. But that's besides the point. I'm not even going to get into all of that. Problem is, when you're a fucking YouTube IT guy that talks about Linux most of the time, and you fucking dip your little toes into the dangerous, treacherous waters of political commentary, you're gonna come across like a fucking moron. What do you mean? And I will admit, like, I think he's decent when it comes to some random Reddit post about some tech issue that he covers fairly well, I assume. But this is not something that he knows at all. So why the fuck did he do this? Well, I'll tell you why he did this. Because he got 1 million fucking views.
Hello,
it's
guys.
a controversial thing that got him 1 million fucking views. No More Google Chrome gets him 300,000 views. Talking about drama slop tuber shit. Talking about global conflict from the perspective of a drama slop tuber, that gets him 1 million fucking views. See, YouTube drama. I'm very disappointed in Marcus Brownlee. 1 million views. That's it.
Maybe the student loans, and as somebody that, you know, at the time, financially speaking, I needed money for school, I probably would have joined the Canadian Air Force, you know, out of a patriotic duty, but also because, you know, you sign a bond with them, you work in the military, you get your school paid for, you know, good schooling, and that's kind of how things, you know, go. It's a deal you end up making. I think a lot of people that join the military who are these cogs in the machine that you'd be so willing to say, yeah, I hope you get PTSD if you're not, you know, this reformed person that, you know, has to bend the knee constantly because of your service to your country. Yeah, I think those people are usually in the military out of necessity, or, you know, at some point they need a career, they need to join something. And the military is a great provider of it. The military also produces a lot of those same technologies you use to stream your nonsense garbage on the internet. You know, they do a lot more than just this imperialism that she, you know, likes to throw around.
The imperialism that she likes to throw around? Bro, what the fuck? Oh my God. You know, it's just a word that people throw around. I will never investigate what it actually means, okay? Do you understand? Because I have the full knowledge that my audience doesn't know what the fuck it means either. It's something that the woke left libtards actually throw around, so it must be silly and inconsequential. Please do not dive into the academic literature behind what that term means. Because if you do, you might understand that it's not just a fucking word that someone is throwing around. And in fact, exactly what America is doing. Also, I like the subtle notion that, like, the internet is because of DARPA, so imperialism is fine. You know what I mean? That's not all the military does. They also invent stuff. Okay, sick. How about you invent stuff and don't do the other bad shit then?
You know, there is very valid criticisms you can make of the U.S. military, but I think going after the cogs in the machine, the people that are the grunts, the foot soldiers, is just insane. This kind of rhetoric doesn't really bring anyone together. If anything, all it does is just sow more discord and, you know, sow more issues amongst people who are already facing a lot of issues right now, people who are already so divided. You know, this kind of rhetoric doesn't really, you know, portray anything. She might think this is based, but at the end of the day, it's just literally cowardice.
Why? Yeah, no, it's cowardish behavior for hijabi Lebanese person to you know, come out against genocide and then be endlessly harassed for that position and not framing her position well enough in terms of veterans. So let's do a fucking relentless pile on.
Behavior that, you know, you're displaying from the internet. You're not
He literally says the same thing you said, lol libs.
Really actually providing any solution. You're just sitting over there wishing that.
Yeah. She still has a Twitter account, by the way. Mutahar doesn't. I'm just saying. Mutahar is like, oh no, I'm one of the good ones, I promise. Hey guys, I'm one of the good ones. Like I'm not like a bad Muslim like she is. You know what I mean? I have all these differences in opinion, and I'm you know. Why did he lose his Twitter? He didn't lose his Twitter. He left Twitter because they're fucking insanely racist on Twitter.
People who literally fight for your freedoms every day would get probably the worst post-traumatic stress disorder or mental illnesses.
Dude. Come on.
Because of their service. I mean, honestly, if you were a serviceman and you heard this shit, I would actually understand if you probably regretted your service afterwards, or if you actually...
You should, by the way. You should. It's healthy. And many do, as a matter of fact. People who are right-wing still fucking regret their service, oftentimes. It's 100% a healthy fucking attitude to have. What do you mean? I stand by that. I think that it's understandable that you look at that and you look at the experiences that you got from that process, recognize that it changed you in a pretty meaningful way, and then work against that to ensure that other people don't actually fall into the same fucking traps that you did. Dude, like, what is this fucking commentary? What is this goddamn commentary? The American military was not deployed into Iraq so that, Americans could retain their fucking free speech. What the fuck? Even the biggest chuds within the veterans, within the crop of like veteran influencers will laugh at that notion, I think. Like, that is, you have to be extra stupid to be like, yeah, nah, you don't understand. We went out there, brother. we were knocking down doors in fucking Baghdad so that we could defend America's free speech. Or America's freedoms, okay? That 14-year-old Iraqi child that was scared shitless when I busted into his room, let me tell you something. He was looking at American freedoms funny, okay? He was! That's right! He was looking at our freedoms funny. When are you going to be a normal human, Law? Do you ever be a normal human? No. He talks like he just saw the second tower go down a minute ago. Yeah, I know. I also love the notion that, once again, we invaded Afghanistan and Iraq for 9/11. Not Saudi Arabia, which I'm not saying we should have invaded Saudi Arabia, but like, how interesting. 17 of the 19 hijackers are Saudi. They were funded by the Saudi family. We invaded Afghanistan and we invaded Iraq.
Actually question your patriotism. If these are the actual, people that you're fighting for, the people that you're, hoping live their freedoms, right? In the manner that they have become so accustomed to and, have literally taken for granted. It's just hateful shit that she's spouting, and realistically it just comes from this very one-sided view of the army or really your country. It feels like a lot of the extreme leftists on the internet have literally just amounted to their policy being America bad, and realistically...
Mutahar slid into my DMs one time because he said he gets shit on for having a white wife.
Never really looking at any of these things from a nuanced perspective. On a side note, I also love how these people talk about getting universal health care for people, which is genuinely a cool thing to see people actually, live and not be indebted to the medical industry of the United States because they happen to get sick or go through something serious. No, your medical rights are only really present as long as you share your political views with us. I mean, how fucking backwards.
I don't think that's what Frogan believes. I don't think that's what anybody believes, really. I mean, universality means like, even if you're a fucking Nazi, you get that, actually. And I do believe that. Rogan is harassed by these losers like almost every week, and her country was getting bombed like 2 days ago until a recent ceasefire. I know.
Out of touch bullshit is this when you got to hear it, right? It's like, I hope you get PTSD and I hope America doesn't pay for your medical stuff. I mean, they're military people. If you had any basic understanding, they probably have earned.
Mike believes it, Law. He says you're too nice. No, I am uncompromising in my values. And I do like that he said universal healthcare. These people defend universal healthcare, but don't want veterans to get it. And that's pretty funny because, like, if you recognize that they, defend universal healthcare, I think you should understand that on principle alone, you're recognizing that they want everybody to get healthcare. That's what universal means.
Their medical protections because of the service that they've offered. Just insane stuff to see. Now,
as a matter of fact, if universal healthcare was a thing, poverty draft would not be as effective, which is part of the reason why it still exists. Upward social mobility can only happen with educational attainment. If free college existed and universal healthcare existed, it will be a lot less likely for people to fucking join the military. A lot of those grunts that we were just talking about, they probably wouldn't join the military. Why the fuck would you?
Now, will Twitch ban this person for, their obvious, obvious hateful conduct on the site? Probably not. They're just walking around.
They did. And also you're demanding, they did, but also you're demanding someone get banned. You're demanding a content creator get banned. I thought these guys love free speech. Turns out, I guess there's limitations to free speech. It just doesn't extend in the opposite direction. I doubt that he would be making a YouTube video about fucking neo-Nazis that must be banned,
Around completely free. It's insane shit.
These guys hate cancel culture, but then also simultaneously love deploying it. Love deploying it against people that, their group of friends despise. Let me see. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Cancel culture. I got canceled over this video. Twitter is horrible. Netflix should be canceled. Sorry, just killed Concord within 2 weeks. Game Grumps cancellation. Genghis Khan is finally canceled. So he's written a decent bit about cancel culture and cancellations in the past. I just want to see. What is this? Addressing some controversy? Maybe this is maybe he's talking about this one. He's talking about Palestine in this. Twitch is a disgustingly evil platform. I'm not going to say that that's a pro-Palestinian video. Are there any... Why does it say Palestine on the Mr. Beast cease and desist? He's using the Palestine tag for clicks? I doubt it. It's a bad day for video games. Canada is destroying the internet. Yeah, ordinary slop. Yeah, maybe he made a lot of pro-Palestine videos, but he privated them after because they were too, you know.
It's a laissez-faire attitude. Now, obviously, after some backlash, this complete dipshit comes out and goes, I realize that wishing people harm isn't the best way to talk about these issues. Really? Really?
No, the best way to talk about these issues is be a fucking coward and never say anything about it, and then shit on people who are talking about these issues when other people are logging through every little thing that they say so they can find an angle of attack.
Wow! And these people are supposed to be the fucking intellectual bastions on the internet. Really? One thing that...
no, okay.
This is very recent, like, it's like content over .com. They got some pretty big sponsors right over here and saying stuff. So if you look at the actual, like, tier list, you can see that Arab streamers, Hasan Piker, funny, the Turkish guy is on the Arab list, all right. Then you've got, like, AB, the actual Arabs. And then, of course, on the F tier, this is where it gets interesting. You've got Ethan Klein and Ben Shapipo.
Dude, this is so desperate to be like, me thinks this is anti-Semitism, sweetie. Like, if you look at the actual fucking tier list, like, Ben Shapiro is very famously anti-Arab, okay? Ethan Klein, not as famously, okay? If you look at the actual tier list, there are friends of, you know, Frogan and many others on the fucking tier list.
Love Sabra. Now, Sabra apparently in their eyes is like they're referring to like a brand of hummus that exists in Israel.
It exists in America. I don't even know if it exists in Israel. I mean, I assume it exists in Israel as well. It's in occupied territory. It funds the IDF. But also, besides that, it's been a long-standing part of BDS efforts. But having said that, yes, it is a substitute for not being Arab coded, not being valid in the Arab community. Okay, it is akin to a bunch of black content creators making a tier list. Okay, and on the A tier putting being valid. Okay, and on the F tier putting raisins in fucking potato salad. Something that is as far, like, who was invited to the cookout tier list, okay? And at the top of that are people who are invited to the cookout, the most valid people, right? And on the bottom are, depending on the range of, I guess, anti-black sentiment that they demonstrate, the tier list bottom would be listed as F tier, raisins and potato salad. That's it. They would clearly say that be anti-white racism, yeah, and everyone would fucking laugh at them. The only difference in this circumstance is that anti-Semitism is a real bigotry. So you get more mileage when you fucking cynically smear people as anti-Semites, because anti-Semitism is a real valid bigotry. Anti-white racism, no matter how much certain white identitarians online cry about it, it does not read by normal people as a real fucking valid bigotry.
That is basically...
Yeah, and then you'd put fucking Candace Owens on the bottom of the F tier in that situation.
In part of a boycott. Now, Sabra also translates to Israeli Jew or Jew born in Israel. So realistically, you know, if we're gonna use the terminology that these people politically like to use, this is what we consider a dog whistle, okay? Because
yeah, dude, that's what they were implying on doing. Which, by the way, I didn't fucking know either, for the record. And Frogan says she didn't know either. I believe her. There's one of the tier list makers is Jewish himself, but you know, that's besides the point. That he must be a self-hating Jew, right?
In reality, this is what they're actually going for. I mean, the thumbnail that...
It also was loves Sabra. Loves Sabra. It grammatically does not make sense if it was loves Jewish person born in Israel.
I showed you. And again,
I wonder if it's loves Sabra hummus or if it's loves Jewish person born in Israel.
And these are the same people that judged me based on the thumbnail that I used for like the Keffels video. So to give you a quick idea of to understand, putting 2 Jews in the F tier kind of gives you an idea of like where they're at.
It's giving anti-Semitism, sweetie. It's kind of funny to have this kind of take when like every single one of these like centrist fence-sitting try-hard fucking drama slop content creators are so firmly planted in the edgy boy spectrum, so firmly planted in the edgiest side of the internet, who routinely rail against cancel culture, routinely championing being free speech warriors, and actually in many instances will look at like real fucking racist shit and be like, people are misunderstanding my racist friend Himmler Groiper 1488 when he said, when he said that like white people are superior, he was simply talking about something different. He wasn't being serious. Oh, it's just a joke, lol. But then they're like, actually, Sabra, according to this Wikipedia page, means Jewish person born in Israel. So, it's giving anti-Semitism, sweetie.
Arab being at the top, Jew being at the bottom, okay? See,
Arab and Jew is not different designations. There is literally an Arab Jew on the fucking panel. Oh my God. There is an Arab Jewish person who was banned in this process. Arab and Jew as a designation is created by Israel. That is Israel's classification, okay? Because Israel is a fascist country with racist demographic concerns. So they have slotted out people of Jewish background, both ethnically and religiously, as a specific subsect of society, and claim that Arabs are those, regardless if they come from the same countries or not, Arabs are those who are not of the Jewish faith. This is not an Arab Jew classification. Notice how you had to go through different hoops to be like, yeah, this very obvious thing, the Sabra hummus, love Sabra hummus in this tier list to determine whether someone is valid and Arab coded is actually racist and anti-Semitic. Notice how you had to jump through 11 different fucking hoops because that's not what the intention was. And that's not what anybody actually thought it was. It was a goddamn Twitch approved panel at TwitchCon months ago.
I can look at this and immediately understand that this is most definitely designed to be...
He literally laughed that you were top of the list. This is so-called Arabs at the top, Jewish people at the bottom. I know. That's the most Reddit thing you can do. Remember, it's a very Reddit thing. You land on a faulty premise, and then you add on, and you start cracking jokes off of that faulty premise. Like, oh, these idiots don't even understand. Like, Hasan is not even an Arab. He's Turkish. It's like... yeah, maybe that should cause you to re-examine your perspective, you know? No, I will not be doing that. I'm just going to be a smug fucking dipshit and cynically behave as though it actually was secretly a dog whistle to be fucking anti-Semitic. This is what is so goddamn frustrating about this process, too, because there are a shit ton of out and about anti-Semites out there. They do not see any reason to try and dog whistle. Or if they do dog whistle, they don't dog whistle around Israel, okay? They dog whistle by saying, ooh, I'm noticing how many Jews are in positions of power. That type of shit, okay? That's what a fucking real dog whistle is. I know this because I combat and target anti-Semitism historically for the past 10 fucking years while you guys spent all that time hanging out with fucking neo-Nazis online and getting chummy with them. That's the difference!
Hateful rhetoric, right? Like, no matter how you want to cut and slice it, if I had done this, or anybody had done this, or people who are opposed politically to these people would do it, they would say that this is hateful conduct. This is literally hateful conduct occurring on the platform. Now,
this is the hateful conduct, dude. Yeah, for sure. Oh, he's gonna get to the Houthi video. Let's see.
Or like music video and like playing, sitting with another actual streamer, and when you watch it, he's literally walking away and like playing literal like creators. Now, if I was actual terror like music videos to like random creators. Now, if I was to do this on YouTube or really any other platform or even Twitch, I would actually be expecting a ban. You know, a couple.
Would you? Those fucking those videos are on YouTube. They're on Twitter. It's a video that's hosted on YouTube and Twitter. It's not akin to ISIS, dumbass.
Like about a year or two ago, like I was actually assisting a couple smaller YouTubers who basically had memes.
There are literal neo-Nazis on YouTube. What the fuck are you talking about? Apparently, some of them even, maybe not neo-Nazis, but some YouTubers even sit around and do reviews of child porn, drawn child porn, hentai, lolicon. That's how little YouTube gives a shit about their own terms of service. You know, Mutahar should know that. Seemingly, he participated in a review of lolicon himself.
Where they had like literal actual like meme channels where they had like actual like, you know, I think it was like ISIS music, and YouTube immediately after detecting it.
There's a difference between fucking ISIS music and the Ansar Allah movement or fucking Yemeni people making music videos. Oh my God.
Completely demonetized accounts. In some cases, they would actually remove videos or even ban people because YouTube went through a serious apocalypse in regarding this. And obviously, I think most platforms understand that, you know, highlighting illegal criminal organizations, they don't even have to be terrorists. They can be literal criminal gangs. Like, you know, if you're out there promoting the Hells Angels or you're promoting the Mexican drug cartels, you would probably get a serious ban.
You missed his exit. Allah Akbar means.
But in this situation, Twitch's largest political streamer, left-wing political streamer, can just fucking out.
Clean your fucking shirt, man. What the fuck is this disrespectful ass bullshit, by the way? Jesus Christ, you're like spitting all over yourself while you're fucking doing this commentary? How fucking gross. Oh my God. What a goddamn slob, dude. You got fucking cum stains on your fucking t-shirt. Talking about shit that you don't know anything about. Ugh. Bro has never watched a Vice video? I know. Spitting out fucking tonsil stones on his shirt. Oh, Jesus.
Right. You know, promote this kind of stuff on the platform. And it's not even just that. It gets to a point where, like, imagine being a political streamer and you bring a actual pirate, a actual criminal onto your streams. And instead of, you know, being respectful and being a proper journalist, you get on your knees and suck their dick for about...
Yawn. I can't believe it. You mean you had a... Yeah, an actual pirate. No, he's not an actual pirate. Okay? He's not. An actual criminal. Mods! He's a criminal! Once again, 10 months ago. Once again, every fucking other outlet has also interviewed him. And also, they didn't fucking call him a Houthi either. You want to know why? Because he's not one. And it would be ridiculous for them to say that if he's not it. Okay?
About 32 minutes. Watch this clip.
They win over the crews on these ships, and they like win them over with their charm, and they make them hate America.
This is him talking about what the Ansar Allah, the Houthis, are doing. It's not something he did. We know he didn't do this. Okay?
The U.S. government.
That's so funny. Think about China. Does he know anything about China?
He's saying he hasn't spent much time with Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did caught with them, and he
like, that's not true. This is like objectively false. Okay? For the record. Holy shit, this was like 50 pounds ago for you? No, it wasn't. I just have a big beard there. But that's besides the point. Like, as far as I understand, there was not even a single ship captain that was Chinese out of any of the apprehended ships. He wasn't a part of any of the apprehensions anyway.
Danced to music with them, and he was vibing, so he likes him, yeah.
So, I mean, what? That's so crazy. So they're just fucking chilling with the captains? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that we're talking about somebody that has been taken hostage, who, quote unquote, is being chilled with. And again, this is just right on Twitch.
America's like America's like blowing them up while they're just like doing cat and fucking chilling with the captains. Like, how does he feel about that? Isn't that crazy? Like, I don't know how to describe.
Now, these clips were seen 8 months ago on Willie Mack's channel, which you can watch this video right now. Hasan will...
Please go watch Willie Mack's channel. He knows everything about the subject. He doesn't know shit. He doesn't know anything. I watched the piece that Bad Empanada watched, and I was shocked at how fucking stupid he was. I thought there was at least like some some like disagreements. You know what I mean? Like I thought there had to have been some kind of like ideological disagreements there. No, not even. He's just a dumbass. Half the video is shit that he literally clipped to claim I'm advocating for when I'm advocating against that very position. I did not even know that half of these fucking Hasan is pro-Russia content creators were literally just operating on not understanding anything I'm saying or not knowing anything about the issue at all.
Sit there and hype beast these people without any care in the world. Like, this man does not critically apply any form of journalism. He is just...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. The interview itself has journalistic value. I'm not a journalist. I'm a commentator. Also, is Willie Mack doing journalism? Like, what's happening?
Just showing these people and promoting them in this incredibly positive light when there are actually just pirates and terrorists who are putting people in harm's way, especially people that have nothing.
Yeah. The state that is implementing a blockade on the Red Sea in an effort to stop the genocide is actually putting people in harm's way, not the fucking state that is doing a genocide, and not America and all of the other fucking coalition forces that started blowing up Yemen because they decided to fucking stop ships from going through the Red Sea because they wanted to enforce some kind of penalty for the genocide that Israel was conducting. Oh my God. Thank you, Mutahar. I'm glad that you arrived at a reasonable conclusion. Why does nobody want to talk about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising and the violence that these Jewish people in the ghettos were subjecting the Germans to? Oh, the horror! Why is nobody talking about the Allied coalition forces in World War II, the bombing of Dresden? Unacceptable! Why won't anybody think about the poor Nazis that might have been harmed in the process? Now, of course, the merchant ships are not Nazis, okay? And I would never advocate to harm the people on these ships. They are putting a blockade on the Red Sea. They very clearly have said that their goals is to stop Israel from harming Palestinians further. This is an understandable and, dare I say, just goal. And in the words of Norm Finkelstein, who talks about his parents, who are Holocaust survivors, quite a bit when he talks about this specific comparison to the Ansar Allah movement, to the Yemeni Houthis and what they are doing in the Red Sea. He asks, if you had the opportunity as a state to stop the Holocaust and you took actions such as a blockade that disrupted German supply lines, for example, would I sit back and say, how dare you do that? Or would I champion that cause? And the answer is clear for many people. The answer is pretty clear. And that's kind of what I try to communicate to people who usually approach the subject matter with the exact same idiotic fucking perspective that this dumbass Mutahar is implementing here. Brown guy terrorists, bad. They're doing piracy. It's unacceptable. We never have that same principle for America's blockade. America's literally overtaken shipping tankers between Venezuela or Cuba and Iran, right? The Cuba blockade is unjustifiable and inhumane. The blockade implemented by the Houthis in the Red Sea is perfectly moral and perfectly understandable. It is there to stop a genocide. And it has been successful in spite of the billions of dollars that, the American Navy spent on Operation Prosperity Guardian. They have disrupted trade from the Red Sea so significantly that all of those ships had to go around the Horn of Africa rather than directly cut through the Red Sea. It bankrupted one of Israel's ports. This is one of the least violent ways in which you can resist against an ongoing genocide. Yeah. America literally carpet bombed Yemen's capital, Sana'a, in response to the blockade. Israel itself has also instituted a violent blockade for the past 2 decades around Gaza, not allowing Gazan fishermen to go beyond the 6-mile boundary, and even actually killing humanitarian aid ships like the Turkish one, Mavi Marmara, and killing all of the humanitarian aid organizers that were on that ship for penetrating the Israeli blockade instituted upon the Gazan shores. That is an example of an unjustifiable blockade. Now, here's the problem. Here's the issue. I'm willing to bet if I were to be like, hey, Mutahar, let's say country A is genociding a group of people that they've held captive in area B. Okay, area B has reason to want emancipation. Area B has reason to demand sovereignty and become a nation state all on its own. And yet, country A is not allowing that to happen and also doing a genocide. If country C decides to put an end to that by implementing a blockade and restrict trade with country A, do you agree with that? If I were to ask him that, I'm sure that he wouldn't say, no, I don't. I disagree with that. I think that you shouldn't fight against Nazi Germany and try to stop its trade routes so that they can resupply themselves. I'm sure that he would say that that is a valid and moral thing. But you don't have to ever have that argument. If you just go, these guys are terrorists, they're bad, they're wrong, they're brown, they're doing piracy, they're fucked up, and then move on. You don't ever have to. Come on, Nazi, really? Yes, Nazi, really. What the fuck do you mean? An ultra-nationalist ideology committing an apartheid and partitioning an ethnic and religious minority in direct contravention of international law and then also conducting a genocide? Yes, Nazi, really. You can't have a fucking ethno-state built around the principles of ethnic and religious superiority and then enact that fascist ideology in violent ways and then go, whoa, Nazi, hello? It is. That's exactly what it is. The problem is, people I don't think even understand what Nazism is or think it's bad for the wrong reasons, I guess. The fuck is wrong with you? Fascism is a violent, suicidal ideology. It doesn't matter who's holding the gun. It doesn't matter who's in the crosshairs of said gun. Okay? So yes, the comparison between Nazism and Zionism is perfectly apt, and it's not one that I made alone for the first time ever. You're not from Europe. What? Dude, why is every European liberal like this? I can never tell if they're flexing or not. I can never. Oh shit, I made him a mod on accident.
Nothing to do with the Israeli conflict in general. So again, if you want to check it out,
Wait, it's nothing to do with the Israeli conflict in general?
When there are actually just pirates and terrorists who are putting people in harm's way, especially people that have nothing to do with the Israeli conflict in general. So again, if you want to check it out, Willie Mack's video is great. He covers this topic. I would highly recommend you see this to see actual proper journalism and an actual proper objective.
He did not say that's actual proper journalism. This dude has the fucking, oh God. This dude has the sentience of a sea cucumber. Oh my God.
Coverage of the situation. So he brings his kid.
Wait, the highlighted text actually says the opposite. The last dozen Houthi attacks on merchant traffic in the Red Sea have not targeted ships linked to or at least heading to or from Israel, in contrast to claims of the Iranian-backed group. The U.S. Naval Forces Central Command told reporters, yeah, no, this was when they were trying to make it seem like it was like, oh, this has nothing to do with Israel. They're just randomly doing this because Houthis love fucking doing piracy. They just love doing piracy. That's it. They love it. That's why they're doing it. It's weird that they didn't do it until Israel started, doing genocide in Gaza. It's just weird. And it's weird that they also kept saying like, we're only implementing this blockade because of the genocide in Gaza. It's just weird that they just keep saying that. But as long as nobody fucking, as long as nobody hears that, here's my source, U.S. Central Command.
Get on and basically, talks about One Piece. They have a whole like gag and everything. And the thing about this kid is,
which also is really weird that they weren't doing this to harm Israeli trade as it's instituting a genocide, but it just seemingly bankrupt one of the Israeli ports. Yeah, they just hate boats, bro. You don't understand. The Houthis just hate boats. They don't like the science of floating above water. They hate that.
Obviously, if you know him, like this guy is an influencer called Timothy Chalamet. Okay, so
that's not what he's called. That's what everybody in the Western world called him, myself included. Because he looks like fucking Timothy Chalamet.
Basically a movement where, again, this kid is part of a piracy organization where you can see him literally.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's doing objective journalism that he got from Willie Mack, which is, by the way, literally read a single fucking news report on this. Not a single thing that this man has said is correct. Not a single thing that he has said is correct. Bro, didn't you have this guy on like 7 or 8 months ago? Why is he still a thing? He's still a thing. Well, he's not really a thing. It's just these guys want to make him into a thing because they think it's a solid way to attack me and demand I get banned. But in a way where it's like, oh, I'm just pointing out the inconsistencies in terms of service. HasanAbi, British hate small boat, Houthi hate big boat. Yeah, that's how it works. Is a shameless hit piece, organized effort to try and get me deplatformed. It didn't fucking work, and now I'm looking at it because I didn't have time to look at it before.
On like actual captured vessels. It's not something that's like a hidden secret. He brought this guy on and basically popularized him. Now, before people... I popularized the Ansar Allah movement, baby. I made him go viral. In the Hasan camp go, but Muta, this kid has seen only suffering his entire life. So obviously, he's going to be part of these situations. And, you're being a little bit harsh. Now, I am one of those people that is empathetic towards individuals. And obviously, if this kid has only ever seen death and destruction in his entire life because of the Saudi-Yemen conflict, then yes, I can understand why they would do such a thing. But never in a million years should you as a content creator or a journalist, I guess, or a political commentator ever bring somebody on and kind of popularize these things, okay? These people are ultimately part of a criminal operation, an enterprise, a terrorist movement.
Yeah, you should never do a podcast with someone who's a serial lolicon enjoyer, for example. You know what I mean? Year in, year out. Who also happens to be a fucking genocide denier and a genocide lover, as a matter of fact, because they're super fucking pro-Israel, on top of a litany of other problems. And I actually went on that podcast, and I didn't know any of this shit, by the way. But I'm sure that his podcast co-hosts were very fucking familiar with his, the full breadth of his perspective, especially considering the fact that they apparently sat in a fucking Discord and enjoyed the lolicon together and criticized it, I guess. Many of them brainwashed into these groups. Yeah, dude, he's brainwashed into being fucking pro-Palestine.
Shouldn't be glorified.
Remember, this person is not even a fucking Houthi. He's just operating on this false premise. It's a lie. It's wrong. It's just incorrect. I don't know how else to describe it.
And it's not similar to interviewing like bin Laden back in 1997 with CNN. These are situations where even back then, these were interviews done respectfully, and it wasn't in a way to glorify.
In 1997, when bin Laden was interviewed, he was not, I believe he was still considered a brave anti-socialist warrior. Or was this after the first, not the 9/11, but I'm pretty sure that the interviews conducted with Osama bin Laden originally were very positive. In 1993, the original one that I'm thinking of is from The Independent by Robert Fisk, who called him a anti-Soviet warrior, puts his army on the road to peace. But I think by 97, he'd already done some attacks. Fisk interviewed bin Laden again in 1996. He'd just been exiled from Sudan and was back in Afghanistan. The interview was conducted 10 days after bombing Al-Khobar. Saudi Arabia killed 19 U.S. soldiers, and though responsibility for that attack has been attributed to both Al-Qaeda and Iran, bin Laden told Fisk that this doesn't mean declaring war against the West and Western people, but against the American regime, which is against every American. The explosion in Al-Khobar did not come as a direct reaction to the American occupation, but as a result of American behavior against Muslims. Its support of Jews in Palestine and the massacres of Muslims in Palestine and Lebanon. During one of Fisk's interviews with bin Laden, Fisk noted an attempt by bin Laden to convert him. Bin Laden said, "Mr. Robert, one of our brothers had a dream that you were a spiritual person. This means you are a true Muslim." That's funny. The interview he's talking about, I believe, is probably the CNN one, because bin Laden has been interviewed a shitload of times. And this was after he declared jihad on the United States. And in the interview, Peter Arnett asked, "What are your future plans?" Bin Laden said, "You'll see them and hear about them in the media, God willing." CNN producer Peter Bergen, who produced bin Laden's interview with Arnett, was also present during this interview, and it became the first television interview in which bin Laden declared war against the United States for a first time to a Western audience. Now, that's Osama bin Laden. He did 9/11, okay? He's not a random 19-year-old Yemeni teenager who's like, I only care about the genocide in Gaza, and I'm with anyone, no matter what their background is, that wants to put an end to this genocide in Gaza, the genocide of the Palestinians. Not only that, but also, even if he was a fucking card-carrying Houthi militant at the time, he was still not officially a part of the state-sponsored terrorism designation, according to the State Department, because the Biden administration had actually taken off the Ansar Allah movement from the state-sponsored terror designation in 2021. The Biden administration had actually recently moved to put them back on the state-sponsored terror designation. However, that was going to kick in 30 days in. 30 days after they had officially made that declaration. Not entirely certain if I had interviewed this person who was not a Houthi, but even if he was a Houthi, it still wouldn't have been me interviewing someone who's a card-carrying terrorist in that regard. I have, however, watched interviews that very important journalists have conducted with people who are considered card-carrying terrorist leaders, like Yahya Sinwar, for example. Yahya Sinwar was, before Israel killed him, the official leader of Hamas, both the military and also the Politburo chief, after Israel killed the Politburo chief. The reason why I'm actually adding all of this background information is because people who watch interviews or people who watch videos like Mutahar's Drama Slop don't know a single fucking thing about these issues, and they just go, this guy, this leftist libtard fucking interviewed terrorists and sucked them off. I hate him. And then they come in here and try to repeat that same exact dumbass bullshit in my chat. So baffling how the most mediocre Cheeto dust cum stain covered man can say dumb fuck coworker takes online, but because he says it confidently, people think he's correct or smart. Because there's a lot of fucking dumb fuck Cheeto crusted dusty ass motherfuckers out there who also hold those same views, and they love watching other people say it back. It makes people feel smart for their stupidity. That's what it is.
Anybody who is part of a seriously criminal operation that isn't designated just by one country, but by a consortium of countries, even countries that are diametrically opposed to each other, politically. These are actual interviews that people do with criminals as a way to get multiple sides of a story. It's not meant to glorify somebody or glorify their cause as something just.
Yeah. Mutahar, would you have the same smoke for someone that is in your orbit that you love a lot, giving glazing interviews to someone that's, maybe conducting a genocide? Maybe someone who actually went and visited the country that is currently conducting the genocide and actually sat down with officials that were in the process of conducting said genocide? Would you be like, man, it's really fucked up that this guy is glazing terrorists? I doubt that, possibly because you don't have any issue with people being pro-Israel.
In a way, it's like presenting people like Sneak or Rander Tate, who I've made videos on in the past. It's like if I promote them or talk about them on my channel, it's usually with a very objective view. It's usually with a very careful view, where obviously if they promote bad ideologies, right? Like hate.
He's been talking about one thing based off a lie he made up for the past 5 minutes of the video. I know.
Hatred or bigotry. It's about sitting there and deconstructing it with actual facts and logic instead of, sitting down and kind of, hype beasting it.
Why do these fucking people that don't know a single damn thing about any of these issues choose to make these fucking videos and just chirp without literally not even doing the bare minimum research necessary to fucking understand any of these things? It's actually shocking. I really should be tackling these fucking slop farmers a little bit harder, especially when they dip their toes in the political arena a little bit. But they do it in this like insanely annoying centrist way too, where it's like they're so scared of taking a position that they can only fucking talk about geopolitics while playing this fucking old ass video game in the background. And they can only cover these issues from the framework of drama and like Twitch's terms of service. Is so fucking stupid. God damn. We are making an entire generation of people intellectually uncurious.
To the point where you're normalizing it to a whole bunch of communities, right? It's like hosting a neo-Nazi on your actual channel and not combating them on their terrible beliefs or their violent or extremist beliefs, right? You have to be able to counter these people if you're willing to platform them.
I know, it'd be really bad if you were like friendly with a neo-Nazi, like if you went and got chicken and waffles with them, if you openly admitted that you gave his phone number to other podcasters so he could go on all these other podcasts and shows. It'd be really bad if someone that you're friends with, someone that you really like, Mutahar, if it came out that that person that you were friends with was like fucking a white nationalist like Lawrence Southern while also simultaneously collaborating with other Nazi pedophiles like Sam Hyde, or even turning around and having chicken and waffles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that your ex-wife made for those Nazis at your house. It'd be really fucked up if you then turned around and openly talked about how you platformed this person and tried to give them a career, even though you knew that they were a Nazi, and then simultaneously argued against your community over and over again that they were not actually a Nazi at all. Oh, that's right. Destiny did all of that, and Mutahar sucks his cock on a daily fucking basis.
Otherwise, they just have a free speaker to operate their, shitty beliefs over. And these are things that, again, no matter which side of the political spectrum you fall onto, I would imagine political content creators would be a bit more careful than even average YouTubers. If you got people like me who are just engineers and computer scientists that know better and know how to actually handle these facts, then these people are...
Yeah. We should leave it up to people who know better, like Mutahar, a person who I don't think has said anything about Israel-Palestine up until this moment. The only time he opened his stupid fucking dumbass mouth to talk about Israel-Palestine seemingly was to shit on, suspiciously, a lot of people who are pro-Palestine. He said the Israel-Palestine issue is too complicated. Maybe he was worried. It was so complicated that, like, him as a brown Muslim guy talking about Israel-Palestine was going to draw a lot of ire, similar to this hate video that he fucking put together haphazardly. This fucking slop-ridden smear shit.
Complete buffoons.
I'm not an expert on this issue, guys, but let me tell you for 38 minutes why these other people who are infinitely better read than myself on this issue, who have talked about this issue and have interviewed academics on this issue, interviewed journalists on this issue, actually had not one, but multiple genocide survivors on this issue, from Motaz Azaiza, award-winning photojournalist who escaped Gaza, all the way to Rashid, who is, someone who actually is still living in Yemen.
They shouldn't be operating in this field of content.
Yeah, people who have interviewed, Israeli draft dodgers, conscientious objectors of the Israeli draft, activists, Israeli Knesset members. What the fuck do I know? I've only spent thousands and thousands of hours not only reading up on this shit and also advocating for Palestinian emancipation for the past 10 years. What the fuck do I know? Listen to some dumbass who fucking normally talks about Linux and I used to have a podcast with a fucking dude who apparently did fucking pedophile lolicon porn reviews on. Let's hear that guy's take on what I'm doing. Yeah. Seemingly the subject matter expert here. I'll refer to you next time I want to hear what your takes are on fucking lolicon, okay? Jesus Christ. Like the gall, the audacity, the fucking hubris, like the idea that these guys, this shit's gone on for far too fucking long, okay? Oh my God, there are so many dumbasses who think they know what's what.
Content in the first place. Now, that same guy that Hasan was kind of sucking the dick off basically was out there posting the executions we will carry out on all Zionists in the situation.
Yeah.
Now, one could sit down and probably say, yeah, he's probably talking about, just Zionists, not Jews in specific. But, looking into this person and the Houthi movement and the group in particular.
The Muslim Zionist Network? What the fuck is this? Oh, God, I don't want to see this shit.
The idea of anti-Zionism is also conflated with, anti-Semitism in this situation as well. It's just more hateful rhetoric that is being constantly pushed down anyone's feet. I think hate from any angle is bad.
He said anti-Zionism is being conflated with anti-Semitism? Okay, wait, hold on.
But this guy is not necessarily any innocent, party. Now, obviously, Twitch, who is in such a weird state right now.
What? Did I misunderstand this? Just to clear it up, you interviewed Rashid on January 16, 2024, and the U.S. designated the Houthis as a terrorist group again on the next day on January 17th. Yeah, and that wasn't even implemented until the next month. There's a 30-day barrier, so it doesn't even matter. This Belarusian child said, fuck the NSDAP. This is alarming. It's like, Mutahar, maybe it's because you got off Twitter because everyone was being racist to you that you didn't see the metric ton of hatred that those who are pro-Israel, open up against anyone who is against Israel's genocide. Like, this man's like, I can't believe what he's saying. Well, wait till you use the translate from Hebrew option on Twitter, okay? I've seen things that I did not know. Like I've seen levels of hatred that I did not know existed in the world. Like shit that I have not even heard from the worst of Nazis coming from like, you know, people who have like liberal, please no hate in the bio. Yeah, the linguistic vitriol. Yeah. These are just a few bad apples, literal Israeli ministers of the Knesset. Bro, we're talking about Israel, man. They had an emergency Knesset meeting in the middle of the fucking summer where Benjamin Netanyahu, the current prime minister of Israel's own party, the Likud party, had a Knesset get up and yell at one of the fucking Arab ministers to defend the right of Israeli concentration camp guards raping Palestinian prisoners to death. Okay? He said that Israeli concentration camp guards have the right to rape Palestinians to death. It's not even a joke. It's on tape. And this motherfucker's over here being like, some random teenager in Yemen said, this is what we're going to do to the Zionists. Guys, have you seen this? Have you seen how scary this is? This fucking 19-year-old in Yemen, a country that has been bombed into oblivion. I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe it. It's like, dude, wait till you hear what people are doing in Israel. You are gonna be shocked. Shocked, I tell you. But of course, that is my problem with these centrist face sitters, or face sitters, centrist fence sitters. If you don't mention any of that shit, all of a sudden this looks weird. And if you compare it to like some fucking American neo-Nazi, then, ooh, scary. Ooh, this is scary. We got to tone police these guys, man. We got to tone police these guys. Like, first of all, if this motherfucker was a die-in-the-wool anti-Semite, he's in Yemen. What are you talking about? The Ansar Allah banner literally says, curse the Jews. If he was fucking anti-Semitic, he would say it. Like, what? You think he's worried about being canceled? You think he's not going to be able to get a fucking HR job at BuzzFeed? You dumb fuck? Like, these guys are so stupid. It just like blows my mind. Just like literally pull your head out of your fucking ass, dude. Oh my God. Motherfucker who's 19 years old living in Yemen has no reason to fucking shelter his anti-Semitic views and use dog whistles. Like he would just fucking straight up be like, yeah, no, I don't like them. Okay. That's what he would say. It's so dumb. I just don't get it.
Has decided to let this guy constantly stream and, from what I understand, even unban the account, to which he's an actual streamer on Twitch right now.
This entire conversation is fucking idiotic. It's not a Jewish person. He said, wait, what is this? What is happening here?
And even unban.
Is he just like stealing Ethan's conversation is fucking idiotic. It's not a Jewish person. Is he just like stealing Ethan's arguments? Is that what it is? Oh, it's the pic that Rashid posted. He said, is Mutahar your op now? Dude, anyone who maxes out at fucking 4 brain cells is my op going forward. And yes, this is a lot of the drama slop tubers who try to fucking present themselves as like intellectual giants, okay? By simply just never really taking a firmly held position until it's actually being fucking anti-left. We arrived at this because someone was like, oh, Muta was outed as a pedophile. I investigated it. Turns out he's not, okay? Even though most of my ops end up revealing themselves as that. He was he had a podcast that I've literally been on, by the way, with some fucking freak loser. Oompaville's fine. He's cool. But from helping you optimize your Steam Deck to be in your op, yeah. This shit feels like Gamergate 2 only now is about something actually serious and the gamers are full-blown fresh from the start. It's just like, yeah, he was, apparently he was caught looking at lolicon porn, hand-drawn child pornography with this other freak and on his former podcast. Do they still have a podcast? Do they still have a podcast together? Or do they not have a podcast any longer? I don't know. Well, I've been on that fucking podcast. Why don't you call Mutahar and talk about it and confront him? I don't even know how the fuck I would reach out to him. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have a problem fucking talking to Mutahar about this shit. What do you think? You think he wants to fucking have a conversation with me about Israel, Palestine? Are you fucking crazy? Are you insane? This motherfucker has avoided speaking out on the issue, saying it's complicated. The only time he's actually ever fucking talked about it is apparently the shit on me. So I doubt that he would want to fucking talk about Israel, Palestine with someone who's actually knowledgeable. He would much rather rehash what other dumbasses have fucking put together in a 38-minute video to be like, oh, why are Twitch is a disgustingly evil platform. They're allowing meanie bobini things to be said about Israel. Oh, it makes me so sad. Why is Twitch not banning these people? I also love principled free speech. I'm a principled free speech defender. Yeah. I hate this shit. These guys are such little fucking cowardly losers, dude. I have no charity for you any longer. What is this? This is who he hangs out with? They even hung out all together in Keemstar's house? Ugh. Ugh. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. I can smell that video. Holy shit. Why am I held accountable for some random fucking...
Because you platformed him. How fucking hard is that?
Why did he stop this? Why did he stop this video? Why didn't he watch the whole video where I'm talking about why am I being held accountable for some fucking random Yemeni teenager 12 months after the interview was conducted in the midst of an ongoing genocide where children are being burned every single day? I wonder why he stopped it there.
You're the one.
Because my overarching point is it's really fucking stupid to laser focus on whatever anyone that I've actually interviewed is saying 10 months after the fact when my goal here is to cover the ongoing atrocities.
To put him on your channel unapologetically and then memed with him about One Piece. Didn't ask him one single critical question.
I did. I asked him if he hates Jewish people. He said no. He actually loves anyone who is anti-Israel, who is against Israel's genocide. That's number one. Number two, I asked him if he was a Houthi. He said no, he's not a Houthi. He's just from Yemen. He's a Yemeni teenager. So, you know, after that point, you're just mad that I fucking humanized someone who is, you know, on the other side of the fucking world, who you disagree with. You disagree with his opinions.
That's you. You did that. I'm criticizing you. You're not accountable for him. You're accountable for yourself.
Now, honestly, that's probably the best way to put it. Thank you, Ethan Klein, for saying it like that. And, you know, at the end of the day, it kind of almost harkens back to, again, hey, listen, if you're going to put somebody on your channel.
Yeah, once again, anyone that focuses on this shit is a goddamn rube or a sucker or a grifter who doesn't give a fuck about anything and simply wants to fucking farm the outrage points for some sweet, juicy clout, or is secretly in the tank for Israel, but a little embarrassed about how in the tank for Israel they are, and they can't fucking contend with the reality that is their audiences are not in the tank for Israel, and therefore now they've like lost their fucking minds and have gone on this like righteous conquest. Oh, I'm not sufficiently pro-Palestinian is what my audience is saying, and I can't fucking understand where they're coming from. So I've decided actually everyone that is pro-Palestinian is in the wrong. And the only people I will ever platform going forward will be people who, you know, seemingly defend Israel quite a bit and say, oh, I don't think it's a genocide, actually. That's like the permissible boundary of criticism against Israel. They're not doing a genocide, and it's all a bunch of bad actors that are simply sniping children, you know? Why aren't you against Palestinians? Why? You must be anti-Semitic.
Channel, you really should be able to counter them on their terrible beliefs.
Can we stop talking about this drama you're feeding into this? It's a Friday night, and we're 7 hours and 22 minutes in, okay? Suck my dick. It's not, you know.
You know, these are the same people that would say if you have like 10 people at a table and one of them are Nazis, and you're not countering that Nazi on his terrible beliefs, then congratulations. You have 10 Nazis at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with what he's saying. I just don't think that kid's a Nazi. If he says some Nazi shit, I would push back on it in our interview. That's the problem. Do you think that kid's a Nazi? Do you know anything? Have you even like proven why you think this kid's a Nazi? Have you done any research other than literally take some fucking Willie Mac bitch tits clips and also something that Ethan also clipped? Do you care about anything? Do you care about the truth? Do you care about a genocide? Like, it doesn't make any sense. These people just don't give a fuck about anything, and it blows my mind. It's like genuinely shocking to look at a world, right? Like world-changing events that are occurring. Tens of thousands of children fucking destroyed. Okay? I read accounts from a parent that felt fire for the first time, woke up, okay? Immediately grabbed her son, started running out of the house, and in the process didn't realize that her son felt a little bit lighter. He turned back around and saw that it wasn't her son that she was holding. It was simply her son's arm. Okay? That is the daily reality for Palestinians. That is the daily reality of life in Gaza. Insurmountable levels of horror that our tax dollars are paying for in the United States of America. The Canadian government also plays its role, where Mutahar is from. And this is your only commentary that I talked to a 19-year-old, asked him if he's a Houthi, he said no, asked him if he was anti-Semitic, he said no, and I wasn't fucking sufficiently critical of him. That's your only commentary on this issue? You are nothing, okay? You are nothing. I cannot begin to explain to you how little I think of these monstrous pieces of shit, okay? You are less than nothing. Yeah, anyone and everyone. It's just weird. All of that stuff, that's just, don't even talk about it. Don't even focus on it. Don't even mention that. Don't even mention the Palestinians. Maybe they deserved it. Who knows, right? Collateral damage. Who knows? But anyone and everyone that actually says, holy fuck, these man-made horrors beyond comprehension are completely unacceptable. This is genocide. Those guys are always bad. It's so crazy. I speak for 10 hours every single fucking day professionally. Many of the issues I speak on are very polarizing. Many of the positions I take are not positions that Americans are very comfortable with, okay? You can clip me out of context or reframe something that I'm saying to mean the exact opposite. And as a matter of fact, many of these fucking dumbasses do that on a regular basis, okay? If that's what you choose to do after 12 months, 13 months, 14 months of genocide, then you are less than nothing to me. And I will never fucking forget these monstrous pieces of shit for looking at a situation like the one happening, the one unfolding in Gaza, and choosing to never say anything about it, only to then make these fucking drama videos to call out the people who call out the Israeli government. It is disgusting. Go back to fucking reviewing Lolicon with your podcast co-host, you piece of shit. Stay in the area of your pocket of interest. Stay in areas that you are knowledgeable on. Go back to fucking chirping about cancel culture. It's like such a cynical deployment of this too, because like you turn around and you're like, cancel culture. I hate it. I don't like it. Free speech. I'm a defender of it. But also these guys, maybe these guys should be banned. I think it's really fucked up. No, this is not fucking APAC funded, chat. Shut up. You're delusional if you think that like APAC is funding fucking drama slop YouTubers to make these videos, man. Come on. No, it's just like a bunch of people who are afraid of taking a real visible stance on a fucking seriously significant thing, and they just see that the algorithm favors them. Yeah, he's not smart enough to get the bag for writing a video like this.
Hold people to that same accountability.
It's funded by the YouTube algorithm and the revenue that they get.
Across violent or hateful rhetoric, you should be combating it. Like you 100% should. What's even fucking wild is when discussing this person in a very recent interview with Asmongold, like when they were talking about why Asmongold had his like wild takes. This is what Hasan had to say about that pirate. Watch this.
We're not like, oh, you're trans, we're gonna kill you. They were like, oh, thank you for your fucking humanitarian aid. They don't give a shit. Like it's the same as any other kind of person. I talked to a teenager from Yemen, okay, who everyone called, myself included, called Timothy Charlemagne or Chalamet.
Is that the One Piece one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him, which means that for most of his life he has withstood genocide, right?
Sure.
Like he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I can't wait to hear this. I can't wait to hear what he's going to say. Let me guess. He's going to be like, Anne Frank didn't actually overtake ships and engage in piracy. If Anne Frank rose up in arms against the fucking Nazis, I don't think you would criticize Anne Frank. And I think if you criticized Anne Frank for rising up in arms against Nazis or try to disrupt their supply lines or anything like that, and you actually tried to criticize that, everyone would understandably call you a fucking Holocaust supporter or a Holocaust revisionist a fucking Nazi. Okay?
You know, where's that part of Anne Frank's diary when she was also rating ships?
Good one, dude. Yeah, I know. Would that be a problem? Would that be a fucking problem, Mutahar? Why do you hate the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising? Do you think that they shouldn't have done that? Oh man, the Nat Turner Rebellion really it was really messed up, dude. They really should not have done that. John Brown should not have done what he did. A real terrorist, okay? You have to match the violence that those who were consistently oppressed and enslaved or destroyed and killed with the violence of the oppressors, okay? Do you think it changes the dynamic of chattel slavery? This kid didn't even engage in the piracy himself, by the way. I can't believe we're still having this conversation. Holy fuck. Do you think he knows what he's saying, or is he just fucking dumb? No, he's just fucking dumb. This guy watched Inglourious Basterds, just like I did, and probably loved it, okay? He didn't go, violence is never allowed, sir. No, you fucking love that shit, and so do I.
Like, these are things where, again, yes, in one way, Hasan is kind of like this weird hyperbolic individual where, like, he has, like, kind of a point. Both these people are young. They've seen death and destruction their entire life. And you can almost empathize with somebody who is doing a bad thing is part of...
Dude, he's not, okay? He's not. You made that up. You didn't even make that up. That's the worst part. He didn't even come up with that lie. He just saw someone else lie about it and went along with it.
Of a terrible movement, is part of a terrible group that is actually...
He doesn't even know what this group is or what they're doing. He just knows it's terrible. He knows it's like appropriate to say it's terrible. That's it. You're literally, you're paraphrasing a Twitter post at this point. It's like lower than the lowest form of commentary.
Committing crimes, and you can understand why they do it because of the, world that they've lived in. But then to compare it to, like, Anne Frank, who, again, is a pacifist in comparison, is just insane shit.
Would it be inappropriate if Anne Frank wasn't a pacifist during the Holocaust, Mutahar? If Anne Frank wasn't a pacifist during the Holocaust, would you have a problem with that, Mutahar? Do you hear what you're saying? Do you hear the words that are coming out of your fucking mouth, dumbass? Also, Anne Frank was a child. I, personally, if Anne Frank grew up and was able to escape and then, fought back against the Nazis, I would not go around saying, if she participated in the disruption of supply lines for the Nazis, I would not sit around and say, it's kind of fucked up. Yes, I know she died at a young age. I think, 15. I know. Like, what are you doing? You're doing civility politics for Anne Frank now? What the fuck is this? And there are plenty of examples of people who also died fighting too during the Holocaust. And we understandably celebrate celebrate those acts.
And it's weird because, like, it's in one of these situations where when it comes to, like, people like Hasan, we've had him on, like, the podcast, the Some Ordinary podcast, one of the first actual, like, big guests. And on that show, what's insane to me is, like, look, people like Frogan, people like Asmongold, I would say that they're pretty stupid in understanding these situations. I'm stupid. Hasan, however, is not. This guy knows better, yet he just purposefully goes and obfuscates.
Yeah, if that's the case, then maybe listen to my fucking words, dumbass, instead of repeating what some other goddamn haters are saying. Try to understand what I'm saying. You are arriving at that point to begin with. I guess the only issue we have here is that he's just like automatically, this guy's a Houthi, he's a pirate, he's a Houthi, he's a pirate, he's a Houthi, he's a pirate, that's bad, he's a bad guy. They're doing piracy for the sake of piracy. These guys just love doing piracy. That's why they're doing it.
Skates things like this. It's insane. Now, again, I don't want to jump and make this like a super political video because, again, I'm not equipped to even discuss this kind of stuff, but I am...
You're 30 minutes in! What are you doing? You can't say that 30 minutes into a video. You aren't. You aren't equipped to have this conversation. That's insane, dude. It comes out, I can't be wrong, but this expert should know better. I am right, even though I'm stupid. Delirious and insane, right? No, he's so close to arriving at the truth of the matter, which is, yes, you are stupid. And yes, you are not knowledgeable on this issue. And yes, I do know more than you on this issue. But instead of being like, I wonder where he's coming from. Maybe there's more to this commentary over the course of fucking 10 hours. No, I will not investigate this further. He's a terrorist. You love terrorists. You love doing piracy. The Yemeni population across the board are just like epigenetically locked into their destiny, their predetermined destiny of doing piracy on the Red Sea, even though they didn't do it before the Gaza genocide. You can't take a dick out of your mouth for a half hour and then say, I'm not trying to be gay here. Listen, I know I've been sucking this cock real good for the past 30 minutes, but no homo. No homo.
Somebody that has basically been seeing a lot of this, like, you know, insane side of the internet effectively take over and become so normalized.
Yeah,
Now,
I know. The insane side of the internet, the fucking anti-genocide side of the internet is so insane, dude. Why can't people make reasonable criticisms of Israel's metric ton of death and destruction and child mutilation machine? Wow. Yeah, why can't they have reasonable takes like me, who said, it's too complex for me, I'll stay out of it?
in the situation, you know, like I've said before, and I've been clipped a few times, and, you know, even when I stream, you know, videos do get uploaded of my takes on situations that I feel like I need to clarify. I'm not somebody that is afraid to say that genocide is wrong. I think that there is an actual case of, you know, genocide, and there's an actual case of attack that goes towards the Palestinian people. I think there's very serious situations that go around the world. Now, at the same time, these are situations that involve, you know, a group of people, Muslims and Jews, that have effectively been at each other's throats for not.
Guys, one could say that the Palestinians are experiencing what could be considered the first steps of contextually appropriate framing of genocide, but also, you know, Jews and Muslims, they've just been at it for centuries. They've just been doing, this is a Jews and Muslims thing.
Not just decades, but hundreds of years. It's why when I talk about these situations,
That's crazy. I'm sure Mutahar understands the history very well. Yeah, he definitely seems to me like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, no, he knows that you know, during the Ottoman administration of the region, you know, Jews and Muslims were at each other's throats. He knows, certainly. That's not what happened. This is a maximum 100-year 1920s. Okay, this is the Balfour Declaration thing. Okay. That's it. And the worst aspect of it, the most violent aspect of it, has been for 76 years. Yeah, maybe he, just like Joe Biden, just bought the Rashid Khalidi 100 years of Palestine.
in a nuanced conflict, I say that, listen.
Jon Stewart said the same thing, though. Yeah, he's wrong. Okay, he's wrong. The Ottomans protected us for centuries. Many of us are very grateful. Yeah, I know. It's under the Ottoman Empire, the entire region of the Ottoman Empire was considered a far safer territory for Jews. Jews that escaped the Spanish Inquisition went to the Ottoman Empire. Some of them even went to what is known as Palestine at the time.
You were talking about hundreds of years of, like, just institutional dislike between each other.
If we're going to talk about ancient conflict, it's not Jews versus Muslims, okay? You mean Israel? Bitch, Israel didn't fucking exist. What are you talking about? What is Israel? Sarcasm might be. It's okay. Sorry. Got a little fucking heated there. Like, what makes someone who normally just churns out bottom of the barrel fucking Reddit back slop on, I don't know, Moist Critical said this, or I don't even think he would go after Moist Critical, but like a dude who hangs out with fucking Keemstar and like Boogie 1477 or 1488, sorry. Like, what leads you? What compels you into thinking that you can even tackle the minutia of this complex geopolitical situation that you've said is complex? The morality of it is clear. It's not complex at all. Genocide, wrong. But like, what the fuck makes you think you could just talk about this shit? And the problem here is, this is the reason why he thinks he can talk about this shit. Okay? 1 million fucking views on this. Don't say Wikipedia. He hasn't even opened a fucking Wikipedia page.
If you've ever grown up Muslim, and
like, make a video about how Bloodborne is not 60 FPS, please. Make a video about how, you know, it hasn't come, they haven't brought a PC port to Bloodborne. Like, stay in your fucking lane. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Also, clean your fucking shirt. God damn, it's so disrespectful.
I have, then you know that there is a serious culture of anti-Semitism, in amongst the most conservative of Muslim circles. Just as you will know that there is a serious amount of Islamophobia in the most right-wing of Jewish circles. These are two groups of people that literally are just fighting each other, and it's not going to change.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Brother. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is not about Islamophobia versus anti-Semitism. Oh my God. Also, it's not just Jewish people in Israel that exhibit severe levels of Islamophobia, okay? And same with anti-Semitism, mind you. It's not fucking just Muslims, conservative Muslims that have a lot of anti-Semitism. Have you met like a white guy? Like a white right-winger? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, have you seen the average U.S. congressperson? They hit both of those markers of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia.
Until like the youth grow up.
Did I say white winger? I said right winger.
Realize that this kind of hatred towards each other doesn't really meld well. And when it comes to people dying in a conflict zone like Gaza right now, there is literally nothing that I feel other than sadness for men, women, and children needlessly dying for no reason. It's why that, time and time again, I donate as much as I can to aid. Even going, like tens of thousands of dollars just to make sure that people who need medical assistance, and I vet my charities the best that I can to assist people in really shitty situations. I don't make it a big deal to talk about it because I don't think donating money should be constantly promoted in the sense that, are you really doing it to help people? Or
he's a good guy, man. He's a really good guy. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm also gonna talk about how I don't talk about it. How does it feel to get flexed on like that? Yeah, it fucking destroyed me. I never donate.
To make sure that, maybe somebody who needs medical assistance in a part of the world where they literally can, literally it is one of the most like sought after needs, can get some attention. And it's one conflict that I hope before I die, things can kind of change. Now, ultimately, I really do think that Twitch is fucking cooked when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude, I think we should ban the fucking guy who was, I love doing donations, but Twitch should ban the guy who was fundraised to the tune of multiple millions of dollars for those Palestinians that I definitely do care about, because some other dumbass who was my friend online who also doesn't give a shit about Israel, Palestine, made another fucking drama YouTube video. And I agree with him. Yeah. Guys, I care about Palestine the right way. You understand? And if you care about Palestinians the right way, you have to demand that Hasan gets banned, because after all, I care about the inconsistencies in the terms of service of Twitch. That's right. And it's weird. It's weird that they haven't banned him. Maybe because they have seen, they have the tens of thousands of hours of commentary in their fucking servers where they can go and see if I am an anti-Semite or not, or if something I've done is actually fucked up or not. And they're not simply operating off of 3-second snippets that the Willie Fart Show is putting together, or Ethan Klein is chirping about.
The clips that I've seen the last few days have been downright disgusting to witness. One of the things that I noticed on my phone, and my wife actually saw this too, was I opened up the health app on my phone, and I guess I did a questionnaire, and inside my questionnaire, I was actually like diagnosed. Well, I wouldn't say diagnosed, but the questionnaire rated me as moderately severe to depression. And I don't recall myself ever being in that route or in that stage. There was a video that a creator I respect, known as Jacksepticeye, made a couple days ago titled Help, where he talked about the internet and toxicity, and most importantly,
Damn, dude. I'm sorry that you're depressed and internet is contributing to your toxicity. I'm so glad that you're engaging yourself in this kind of fucking nonsense. Let me tell you something, okay? I'm not depressed. I cover atrocities on a fucking daily basis, and I'm not depressed. I sleep like a goddamn baby. You want to know why? Because my conscience is sound. Because I know my cause is just. Because I'm not a fucking dumbass who does this dumb shit. Okay? Can't say the same about these fucking losers who are up my ass. Is this a BetterHelp ad? No way. I don't think it's a BetterHelp ad. That would have been the fucking icing on the cake. No, it's not. He's just talking about how like the internet is so toxic. The internet is so toxic, guys. I'm gonna be very sincere here, okay? Especially when you are a visibly brown person and you are desperately trying to farm these fucking incels. Yeah, you're gonna find yourself in really fucking toxic caves. You're hanging out with Keemstar. No shit, it fucks up your brain, dude. You're hanging out with Keemstar. You're trying to fucking make waves and inroads with a bunch of the worst people online that despise you for your intrinsic qualities that you can't change about yourself. Have some fucking decency and self-respect. Not saying that that's going to fix depression, of course, and I hope he gets the medical help necessary. But you know, there are certain things that you're doing that are not helping your mental situation. You should tweet at him, calling him out and ask the chat. No, he already fucking left Twitter because it's racist as fuck. To him specifically. Yeah, it's funny he respects Jacksepticeye, who's pro-Palestinian. No, but you don't understand. He's pro-Palestinian in the right way, okay? And that is a way where it's like other drama YouTuber friends of his have not put Jacksepticeye in the crosshairs. So he's not an appropriate or acceptable target of people's ire. That's different. There's valid targets that are worthy of criticism, and then there are invalid targets. People who are well-liked by everybody else is not a valid target. You must understand, especially if you're a fence sitter who cares about what people think about you. Also, Jacksepticeye is the GOAT. He's great.